All right, so as I mentioned before, the activations are crucial in terms of having a good or optimal setup for the beast and for the crab and even for the scorpion and loaded beast, which we'll get into a little bit later. So these are cues that prime your body to recruit the right muscles to support the joints that are involved in the position. So let's go over them one by one because some of them can be quite tricky. Number one is the following. Imagine your hands have roots and you're rooting your fingers into the floor, and afterwards you're trying to imagine to turn the floor away from each other. What's going to happen is you're going to create something called torque in the shoulder. So the muscles that support the shoulder start to wind up and contract, and they create a very stable position for the shoulders. Especially if you've had shoulder issues in the past, this is going to be a massive help with your beast position, but it also has a carryover value to other things like push-ups, like bench press, and pretty much everything where you need a pressing form for the chest. So, number one, screw your hands into the floor. Number two, actually is almost an automatic response to the first cue, and it is bringing the elbow pits forward. This is going to do two things. One, it's going to help with the torque that we created with number one. Number two, it's going to cue tensing up the triceps, so the muscles that support the elbow. Number three, again, lines up with number two, and it is tensing up, firming up the arm as much as possible. So that means tensing up the muscle, and it also means starting to put force into the floor. Number four, slight protraction. So protraction means the following. If you want to look at the shoulder blades, there's basically two positions that we speak of. One would be retraction. The other one would be protraction. So in retraction, the shoulder blades move towards each other. You're pinching them together. With protraction, you're separating them. You're pretty much creating a round upper back. Now we're not really going into protraction, but we are providing the necessary muscle involvement to not go to retraction, if that makes sense. So I imagine going to protraction by putting some force into the floor with both hands and pretty much making sure that my shoulder blades are glued onto the trunk. Protract the shoulder blades. It's a minor movement, but you might be able to see it. Relaxed, protracted. Relaxed, protracted. So those are some of the most important cues. Let me line that up for you again. Screw your hands into the floor. Turn the elbow pits forward. Firm up the hands, arms, all the way. Put some force into the floor. Protract the shoulders. That's everything. Now there's one more point, which has to do with the lower body. Start to put some force into the floor with the balls of your feet. You should feel the legs start to firm up before you get into position. So let me summarize and do them all, and then I'll get into position. Screw the hands into the floor. Elbow pits forward. Tense up the arms. Pressure into the floor. Protract. Put some pressure into the floor with your feet. Set beast. Now once you set beast, I want you to make sure that you keep focusing on those points. So don't just do them during your setup and then lose them. No, keep emphasizing it as you're going. One of the things that you will notice is what we call the shakes of truth. So if you get into a good setup and you start to really squeeze all the muscles that you have, you'll notice that there will be a lot more shaking going on. If you get a lot of shakes, this is a good thing. If you lose them along the way, make sure that you check all the positions again. So what I need you to do is give this a try. Set beast, do all the activations, lift, hold for 10 seconds, relax, repeat 5 times.